Okay, so mindfulness parenting through crisis. Again, I'm Jendi. Okay, great. So the first thing I'd love to share with you are the 5 pillars of care. These were composed by a trauma expert, Dr. Bessel van der Kolk. He wrote The Body Keeps the Score. And there are 5 things. I actually added the 5th thing because I love boundaries. But the very first thing is keeping a really simple and predictable schedule. When we can control things like that, there are so many things outside of our control. Simple schedule, eating, sleep, work, and play. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about this. The second thing is maintaining connection. We are humans who love each other. We need to continue that love. And it's especially important that we have fun doing that, like singing together, playing games, making music. It's wonderful we can still continue these things online. The third pillar is movement. A lot of trauma responses are when we feel immobilized. So if we can stay moving and feel strong, especially in group classes, there's kind of that collective energy of coming together. So if you can do things like, I've been taking online Qigong, that's been amazing. That's something new for me. Or Tai Chi or yoga classes. Those are wonderful ways to stay connected in a group while still being at home. The fourth pillar is do what you love. Share it in some way, contribute in some way. What do you love? And go do that. And the fifth thing of caring for yourself and your family is to really limit what you bring into your home. Media, news, all of that. Just being really aware of what feels good to you, and then just kind of leave the rest behind. So I'd love to share a little bit about mindfulness. So as we are taking a moment to really kind of go into ourselves, if you are looking at the screen, I invite you to maybe pull your gaze back a little bit. A lot of our energy, especially in online calls, our energy is really projected forward and kind of really centered this way. And even our body posture is a lot of times forward and focused. If we can kind of open it up and even lean back a little bit, this is very different from how our culture is constantly like, go, 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 let's achieve, let's get stuff done. If we can bring ourselves back, then that ultimately gives our nervous system a place of relaxing and being able to sit calmly inside of our skin. So instead of this forward place, we have a more open and spacious place, even just sitting at your computer. It's a very simple practice. You can do that. And if you are energetically sensitive, you can also bring your energy more back as well. So a teaching on mindfulness. So mindfulness is a buzzword right now, and it's in our culture. It's pretty, it's all over the place. But the thing with mindfulness is that it's something that we have always been doing as we walk this earth, and we just forget. And the practice is continuing to come back to ourselves. So what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is a calm place of observing what is happening in the present moment. There's a space and there's an ease of being right deeply inside your skin. And when we are in this calm place, we're ultimately sitting in our wise self. And there are traditions all over the world. They call this wise self or self, your soul or your essence or your Buddha nature. I'm simply referring to it here as your wise self. And so when we are in our wise self, there are qualities that naturally emerge that kind of give us a clue of when we are sitting in our wise self and when we are not sitting in our wise self. And these qualities, I'm taking this definition from Internal Family Systems, Dr. Richard Schwartz. And he says there are these 8 qualities that come forward when we are really sitting deeply in ourselves. And those qualities are feeling calm. We have a curiosity about life. We have a confidence. We have great compassion for ourselves and for others. There's a remarkable amount of clarity in our choices in how we are with ourselves and with others. There's a sweet creativity that comes forward. We feel courage. And this last part is so important, especially now. We feel this great connectedness deeply within ourselves, but also with everyone else too. This great collective connectedness that we all have. So this is the idea of wise self. And this sense of wise self is the superpower of life. This is the superpower of parenting. Because when we are in our wise self, we can sit in the unknown. We can sit in the not knowing. When we are in our wise self, we can rest and we can trust that we are being held. When we are in our wise self, we can see the fear and all the fear that's holding, but we don't have to be the fear. And when we are in our wise self, we can see the worry, we can see all the concern, but we don't have to be the worry, and we don't have to be the concern. When we can sit in ourself, we are ultimately and truly enough. There's nothing we have to do to be okay. And here's the great joy of being in self when we are with our children. And this is the practice. This is the coming back to ourself. So when we are with our children and they're worried and they have fears, we can kind of be like their warm sun in this great presence of self. We can hold their worries alongside them, but we don't have to fix. When we are in ourself, there is space to respond as a wise parent, like the parent we so much would love to be, versus a reaction response. And also when we are in self, we are enough as parents. That's all they need from us. And let me tell you, this is a practice, and it's a practice I do every single day. And sometimes it feels like every minute of some days, you know, sometimes things are hard. And so it's a constant reminder of coming back to ourselves, and that is okay. So these next few minutes, I would like to invite you to a heart meditation. And so if you would like to join me, you're welcome to. You're also welcome to sit out for these next couple of minutes. Do what feels right for you. But go ahead and clear some space on the inside of yourself. Kind of like when we recondo something, it's like, you know, declutter the outside of our environment. Just kind of on the inside. Let's create a little bit of internal space. And if it feels right to you, take a few breaths, maybe up to the collarbone. And if it feels right to you to close your eyes or maybe a lower gaze, you're welcome to do that. And for right now, maybe just notice your body, the sensations of your body. What are you noticing? Is there tightness? Is there pain? And just notice it. We're not trying to change anything, just simply seeing what is right there. Maybe you notice some thoughts are running through your mind, trying to get your attention, and just notice that. Just letting things be as they are. Maybe notice any emotions that might be coming up. Maybe there's a buzzing or anxious quality, or some sadness, overwhelm. Again, just noticing what is happening right now in your present moment. Now we're going to spend some time with our heart. And see if you can find your heart and just notice how it is to place your attention there. And it can be however you experience your heart. It doesn't have to be right in the middle or on the left, just wherever you experience your heart. Just let it know that you're here spending some time with it. And maybe just notice how open your heart feels right now. Or how tender or even tentative it might be. Or is it calloused or maybe kind of tired? Maybe it feels a little congested. Or maybe it's fluid and flowing. Just seeing what is right there. Does your heart feel contracted or tightly packed? Or is it spacious? Maybe you might find that the front of your heart is closed and maybe the back's open. And maybe some energy can flow through certain parts of your heart and maybe not others. And maybe there are some tentative parts and maybe some tender parts. So in some way, when you feel any type of extreme responses in your heart, you'll notice that there are some areas that are protecting you and to honor that protection. There's nothing good or bad about any part. It's just noticing at this point. A gentle inner inquiry is all we're doing right now. And so now that your heart has your attention, maybe you can ask it just these two questions. What do you want me to know? And just wait for an answer. No need to think something up or try and make something happen. Just see what spontaneously comes to you. It might share with you pictures or a memory, or even something you smell or feel. Just noticing that. And the second question is, what do you need to feel safe? Or more simply, what do you need? And just see what you hear. When your visit to your heart feels complete, or at least for now, go ahead and thank your heart for letting you know a little bit more about it. And if it wasn't able to share anything at this point, just thank yourself for letting you know where it's at right now. And when it feels right to you, go ahead and bring your attention back into this room we have here together. And so these gentle practices are the practices of mindfulness, of gently going inside ourselves and tapping into our innate wisdom that we have deep inside ourselves. We don't have to go looking for anything, not on the outside of us, it's on the inside. And so this is a simple practice that you can do at any time to get us right back into our bodies and ultimately parent the way that we want to parent, from this place of an open heart. So April, that completes my presentation for you. And if we want to open it for, if
Yeah.
anything was surprising about what you discovered, or
Yeah, I invite everyone to take themselves off mute, and we can go ahead and take you off as well and use the chat section. I just want to throw it out and ask if anyone would like to share what they noticed during that presentation, what stood out to you, what you received. I know something I really loved, the idea of the 8 C's. And the idea that we can see but not be in that space of worry and concern, and that we can create space through that, and that gives us the ability to sit in the unknown, because boy, is there a lot of unknown and uncertainty right now. So the idea that that is a parenting superpower that we can tap into, that it's okay to sit in that space of the unknown, really resonated with me. So I just would like to open it up to our group here and see if anyone wants to chime in or has questions for Jendi. We're so lucky to have her here with us today. Thank you for participating. I just am so honored by the people in our community who have stepped up to reach out and help the parents and the kids, and help our community build resilience so that we come out of this okay. And if there's anything pressing on your minds about parenting during this time, we want to hear it. We want to have that discussion with you guys.